stay around, but for maybe 2 or 3 minutes, I'm on the road to the range.
No problem, man. No problem. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Caliber Corner Season 6, episode number 294. Apologies for the late start. We were having a very lively discussion about marriage and relationships, but that's done and it's time to move on to something new. So if you're not married to the 10mm auto, you might be at the end of this podcast as we talk about a caliber that somehow, some way, shape, or form never really made it into the Caliber Corner list of topics. So shout out to God, and who was it that I completely drawn a blank right now? Who is it that gave us this topic? It was a suggestion from a viewer, Mountain View, if I'm not mistaken, a couple weeks ago, and we're finally going to make it happen. Just some little kind of housekeeping items that we need to get out there right now. The first one is that next week's episode is being pushed back a week. I've got some things coming up on Saturday that I need to attend to, so that's going to be happening. So there won't be a Caliber Corner next Saturday. It's been rescheduled for the following week. We're going to continue part 2 of our take a hike discussion where we get into the gear. Before, it really wasn't even much of a gear discussion except for just shoes and clothes. Next time, we're going to get into the packs. What do you need? What do you not need? What's essential? What's not essential? So that'll be happening in 2 weeks. And then also Wayward Son Custom Gun. I've talked to John over there, and I'm putting him in charge of the Thunder on the Prairie 2024 merch. He will work faster and offer more variety and do a better job than the multi-million-dollar spring and spreadshirt corporations. I can guarantee you that. There's going to be a lot of multiple designs that they're going to offer. There's going to be different varieties of swag you can get. So we'll get that posted as soon as the store goes up for Thunder on the Prairie 2024. You can go ahead and start ordering those designs and so on. So John's going to take care of the design, the creation, and the shipping, him and his family, his wife also. So that's something that's going to happen. So I'll be not posting that design over on Spreadshirt or Spring this year just because of the fact that everybody that ordered from them had massive delays of 2 to 3 months and or just got the wrong items. So we're just not going to mess with that anymore. The Travis P11 swag is still going to be up over on Spreadshirt and Spring just because they tend to do that okay, like the mugs and stuff like that. I don't know. Squib, did you order a Travis P11 mug? Did they send you the wrong mug the first time?
Yeah, they sent the wrong mug, and then they ended up sending the 3 decals later, much later, but they didn't bill me for them. I just reversed the charges on my credit card because I tried going round and round with them for weeks, and they just wouldn't work with me. And so I kept the 2 screwed up mug. I left one of them with you as a joke. That anthropology mug, and then then like 2 months after the event, I got 3 decals and there was no hit to my credit card. So I ended up getting I could put those on a mug. But yeah, it's one of those screw ups. And I think it really does come down to it being the bigger company and things like that. It's nothing that you did or anybody else did. I mean, I've had screw ups with Spreadshirt and Teespring before. Yeah. So it happens. But I think it's great that channels like yours offer merchandise because that's something I think a lot of people in the audience want. I need to have some merch, but first I need an audience.
And I want people to know that the way I price it, it seems expensive. I'll make maybe $1.50 on a t-shirt. There are channels that'll charge $40 for a t-shirt because that way they're able to make $10 to $15 profit off of it. I'm at the minimum that Spring and Spreadshirt will let me actually sell something for. There's a minimum amount that you set a price for so that it'll cover the cost of the making of the shirt, their cut, and then something for you. So it's like $1.50 per t-shirt that I make, which is I don't even really sell that many. I think maybe we've sold a dozen in the last couple of years and that's it. So it's not like my stuff is flying off the shelves, but anyway, it's out there if anybody wants it, if you're ever interested. So otherwise, why don't we go ahead and just go around Rob and let everybody introduce themselves and just say what they want to say. And then we're going to fire up this discussion on 10mm auto. First of all, I got a question that I'll pose for just the panel in general. And then I've got maybe some information why. And then after that, we'll just do a little history lesson on 10mm auto, share our experiences with it and talk about it. There's always going to be a superior cartridge out there. Yes, Tony York, we see your post, and the 41 Magnum is probably the better round. But until Glock chambers something in 41 Magnum, I mean, what's a guy supposed to do from the semi-auto end, right? There's probably somebody out there that makes one. We'll talk about that later. So on my right, we got Single Shot. Single Shot, where are you at? What are you doing? And how's life treating you, brother? How you doing?
Doing fairly well here in Massachusetts, headed south on I-495, headed out to Muncie again on the regular run.
Yeah. How's your weather, man? Is it decent out there? Hot and humid? What are you guys dealing with?
75, humid, cloudy, kind of nasty. And we've had the humidity here for
Oh yeah,
a few weeks now. It's getting ridiculous. Got so much daggone rain, I can't even cut my entire backyard there with a mower. It's damn thing stuck in mud all the time. So.
Oh yeah, it's gonna take some time to dry out. Yeah.
Yep. I have posted a couple of videos.
Cool, man.
One or two on YouTube, I think. There's two of them, and the other one up on Rumble, so people have a chance to get up there and check those out. Appreciate you checking, stopping by to watch them and give them a like. Let me know you were there.
Dude.
Other than that, we got quite a lot of the gun work done there at the house. I've been picking up a forend every now and again when I could find them for the TC barrels that I've got. And I've tested a few of them. I've got a lot more to test, and I'm trying to make up my mind what I'm going to do on getting them refinished. I'm thinking about Cerakoting on a lot of them because the bluing was pretty much damaged.
Okay,
Not
so do you do your own Cerakote, or is this something you'd have outsourced?
No, I'll farm that out. I had I had an outfit to do 4 of them here quite a while back for me. Did a good job. So
cool, nice.
I'll probably have them guys do the Cerakoting on
it's not cheap if you want to do it yourself. Maybe it's like $25 a can. I mean, I just would hate to do it and mess it up and then it's permanently screwed up unless I had to sand it down again. So I just farm it out to somebody else that's good at it, tell them what my concept is, and just get it done. It's not cheap, but it's also one of those things where it can add a very unique touch to your firearm. So if you want it in a color pattern design that's gonna work for you, then just do it. So, yeah.
It's a good way to get it done, and it's durable.
Yeah,
the stuff lasts pretty good there, so it's a good way to go. Other than that, did end up getting a new zero turn at the house there. I'm still playing with that thing, trying to get
fun toys. That's up there with
again.
snowblowers and chainsaws in terms of fun powered goodness. Those are definitely up there. So
Yep.
Sweet.
Wife and I are doing pretty well. She's enjoying it. She's seriously thinking about staying. I kind of hope she does, really, instead of going back down into Georgia.
Okay.
But anyway, we just go with the flow on that. See how things go from day to day.
Sounds good, man.
She's doing well.
All right.
I want to say hi to everybody on the side chat and Firefighter and Poos, if you're still there. Rich, say good morning to y'all.
Yeah.
Foosmeister's here. Hey, Foos, let's let you introduce yourself because you said you're a little limited on time this morning. So tell us about you, man. How's life treating you? What you been up to, man? What are you doing?
Just working, not really shooting a whole bunch. I'm still in the match directing mode, it's my first year doing that at a club up here in Kansas City.
Cool.
And yeah, I'm having fun with it, putting down great stages and just liking the transition from shooting to match directing a little bit. Next year I'm going to go ahead and hopefully kick up the shooting a little bit more, since I'll have a year of match directing underneath my belt and
it'll get easier that second year, but it's good that you're being a leader, keeping it going, because somebody's got to do it. If nobody's going to step up, it'll disappear. So yeah.
If I wouldn't have stepped up, the outdoor range would have kind of petered out and not been a thing anymore. So yeah, I'm heading out there right now to have my third outdoor practice session of the year. So yeah, that's usually on a normal shooting year, I would come out here 3 times a week, and now it's the 3rd time since this year. So yeah, not much else, just working and MDing and all that good crap. So
right on, man. All right. Well, I appreciate you being with us, and you've been with us pretty much since the beginning. So it's been good having you here. And if you're with us when we get to the 10 milli chat, just go ahead and chime in. So yeah.
And 40's better than 10 mil.
Oh, isn't 40 10 mil's little brother?
I'm joking. No,
40 is 10 is the 10 millimeter mini me, isn't it?
So,
isn't that how that works?
Yeah.
40 super carry is 40 super carry,
it's just trimmed down. So
10 millimeter light, as you guys told me many years ago, 40 cal. Yeah.
Yep. If you know how to load 40, you could make it as powerful or more powerful than majority of the 10 mil factory stuff out there.
Oh, man, but you can always handle stuff to a point that it's going to be a hot rod. You know, I mean, that's, you can't, if you know what you're doing and you watch the pressures and stuff, you can really make a, I love 40 Smith. Don't get me wrong. I mean, one of my favorite guns was a Stoger Cougar, and I always kept it loaded with, was it Spear Blue Dots, I think is what they were. Corbon Blue Dots or something? Yeah.
Gold Dots.
No, well, it was Corbon is what Hollow Points is what I kept in it, but yeah.
Not this year. Well, not this year, but last year, 2020. Remember that CZ I had out there, and everyone loved shooting. That was hopped up 40.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, Squibload, how's your week going? How's your day going? You kicking butt and taking names or what? You just chilling this weekend? What's the plans?
Still not sure. I might do some auto maintenance out in the driveway, maybe work on the garden a little bit. I'm filming a coffee review video right now. I've already done the intro, so I'll be stepping away to film my final thoughts on it and whatnot. So probably doing some editing. I've got lots of footage. I got to get it edited. I've got to get it in the studio, schedule it, stuff like that. So
by the way, you and I have created a monster. So Scott from Scott's EDC and such, used to be known as, Raw Feeney 101. He sent me a voice message last night and said, hey, he goes, I want to thank you for ruining my ability to no longer consume commercial grade coffee. He goes, I made a pot of Folgers, and he goes, it was awful. He goes, I'm now officially hooked on good coffee. He goes, thanks, Travis and Squib. You guys, let Squib know I said thank you. And so I started texting him back and stuff. And so if you guys haven't ever seen Squib's channel, and I've got a B channel called Coffee Computers and More, we do a lot of coffee reviews, and I kind of got Squib in on that good coffee train, and there's been no turning back. And I'll never turn down a couple Maxwell House or Folgers. I'm not going to be rude, but at the same time, it ain't my go-to. But I'm just saying, as long as it ain't decaf, I'm drinking it. So
if Maxwell House and Folgers is on sale, and we're running low on coffee, and it's just not in the budget that week to place an order for coffee, or I haven't done my due diligence and bought it in bulk in advance, then I'll go ahead and buy that. I will. Probably my go-to store coffee that is the most palatable right now has been Dunkin' Donuts whole bean, especially when it's on sale. But it's a 12-ounce bag. We'll eat through that in 3 days, right? So I will drink that stuff. It's coffee, right? It'll wake me up and that sort of thing. However, the first day that I drink that stuff, I'm going, oh, this is awful. It's like that scene in Austin Powers, okay?
It is a bit nutty.
And then, it's a bit nutty. But then when I go ahead and finally get off my butt and order some good coffee, and I have that, it tastes, it brings it out. It's like, one of those sorts of moments.
It's like, what have I been missing out on,
So every now and then I got to suffer with the peasants in order to enjoy. Look, it's just not for everybody. There's some people go, look, I'm not getting a grinder. I'm not there to drink it for taste. I don't care about flavored coffee. Those are stupid. I just want coffee to wake me up. I want it quick. I want it cheap. I just don't care. And that's you. That's your choice, right?
Yeah.
I was in that group. I was. And I actually did, the coffee I'm reviewing today is a redo of a review I did back in 2019.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I would make Maxwell House, drink it, wake up, and then put the
good stuff in.
Put the good stuff
it's
in.
Like
and do a review.
Crappy ammo before you go to the personal defense ammo.
Kind of, It's like
burn the good stuff. Yeah.
So things were different back then, and I've noticed over the years, just looking at the older videos, how not just the camera is better, the audio video is better, but just I started getting a format.
Your palate has developed. You now understand the bouquet, the plethora of flavor that good coffee brings to the experience. Squib, you've grown up.
I think the end result is that I'm not opposed to change, or I'm not able to grow as an individual, right? However, there are certain things that I'm just why? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But this wasn't a if it ain't broke, don't fix it kind of thing. This was me kind of, all right, I'll dip my toe in the water. Now I've jumped into the deep end. So I have to say that there have been some bougie coffees that I've had that just didn't add up.
Yeah, didn't do it.
Yeah, and I can go back and look at my review video and go, oh, I didn't like that. I won't buy that again. It's the same thing when I get a more pricey whiskey or something else like that. But overall, I'd say that over the years I've done this has been a pretty good experience for me, and it's been kind of fun. For somebody else, they just want the coffee to wake. They don't care. And if you don't, that's fine. If you're looking to try something different, if you're looking to say, all right, let me see what this is all about, a channel like Coffee, Computers, or More, or my coffee review playlist might be for you, just because it's going to give you. We're not sponsored by these coffee companies, and we don't have any, this is just something that we like. Travis got me into this, and if I, just like I got him into reloading, right? So this is what friends do. We give each other, we kind of nudge each other into our hobbies or our interests,
or send each other a bag of coffee to push the addiction,
Yeah, so, pretty much. Yeah.
You got me hooked on Arbuckles now. If I ever want that chocolate cherry cinnamon goodness, I go get some Mexicali. So
yeah, it is good stuff.
Sweet. All right. And also joining us, he keeps disappearing and coming back, Firefighter 09100. What's up, man? Did the pre-chat marriage discussion scare you away, or what? What happened, Firefighter?
Oh, no. I wasn't going to air my current dating situation laundry either. So
that's okay, buddy. It's all good.
But it's a little hard to get a good Wi-Fi signal when I've been away on Cybertron.
Hanging out with Optimus or whatever. Is that it? So
Travis, look at the logo.
I know. You're rocking the Decepticons, dude. I got my Autobot sticker on the back of my Hyundai. It looks sweet now, so I love having that on there. I get a lot of people that give me compliments for it. They're like, yeah, Transformers, dudes my age just get it. There's just like this understanding between us Gen Xers that we've all been there. We've all been through it. So look at that. See, Rich never strays far from it. Look at that. He's surrounded by that good stuff. Look at that. Heck yeah, bro. Nice. So Firefly, what else you been up to? You just been working your butt off or what? You're a hardworking dude.
Yeah, that, and not to forget, last weekend I had surgery on my jaw, so.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Because your jaw was it you were sewed shut? They sewed you shut last week, dude?
Yeah.
What'd you eat? Was it just like stuff through a straw or what?
Let's just say for the last week, mashed potatoes have been more of a friend to me than they have been the Irish.
Just like putting it in like a blender. Just go have a mashed potato and gravy smoothie. Dude, that sounds so. Drop a biscuit in there. Just grind it all up. And then you'd be like, oh, it's so good. That's awesome, man.
Sucked.
Yeah. Sweet. All right, man. Well, I'm glad you're with us. And anyway, it's good to have you here. So we'll get the discussion fired up here in a second. And last, but certainly not least, we got Rich, Unloaded Media. Rich, how's your morning going, man? You good?
Morning? Hell, for me, this is mid-afternoon. I've been up since 1 o'clock this morning.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Well, you're in one of those weird time zones. I don't understand those people. But
no,
anyway,
I got this weird ability of not being able to sleep is what I got.
It's called getting old, my friend. It's called getting old. Well, like you can sleep, but you can't, Yeah.
No, I just can't.
You don't just like pass out during the day for a couple hours? It doesn't just kick in and you just...
Nope.
Whoa.
I've been at like all of about 4 or 5 days now with maybe 4 hours sleep if I'm lucky. So.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
All right. So what else you been up to? You got a couple podcasts that you do. Why don't you go and get that plug out there for people that might be new watchers to the channel? What do you guys have to offer?
Well, let's see. We got the wrestling show, which is normally Saturdays at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. Got to go with that old TBS time.
7:05 Central for those of us that can read. Okay, go ahead.
Uh-huh. What do you mean read? I can read. I wouldn't be here if I couldn't read, man. I wouldn't have been able to read your email.
I'm insulting you. I'm always trying to come up with some stupid reason why the Central Time Zone is superior. So, yep.
Yes, and I'm disputing your claim, sir.
You didn't hear what I said before I got my cup of coffee. You're saying, yeah, because the Eastern Time Zone is the only time zone that matters. I said, yeah, when the tidal wave comes in, and then I ran off to go grab my laundry.
Well, if a tidal wave hits me where I'm at, we're all in freaking trouble.
Nah, dude, we're at like 3,000 feet above sea level. We're fine.
I'm higher sea level than you are.
Me out, bro. I'm going west.
I'm like 3,600 feet. So that's why I said if it hits me, we're all in trouble.
We're all gone. It doesn't matter at that point.
Yeah.
That's right. Get the raft. Oh, man. So, make sure you check it out. Anything else in your life, Rich? Anything else fun going on?
That was just one show.
Yeah, I know. Continue, bro.
I got that second one.
Go ahead.
It's Sundays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern, and I don't care what time zone.
Yep.
5:30. I'm not one of these time zone snobs, so you know.
All right, that's fine. You know what? I think we can just agree to disagree, so that's fine. It's good.
That's okay. My favorite college team is in the Central Time Zone. So.
Oh, there you go. And for my family, it's actually Eastern Time Zone. So don't tell anybody. Okay, yeah, Husker fan, but there's other teams that my family does watch, just for the record. So yeah. Anywho, yeah. So yeah.
I was gonna say on the coffee discussion, my wife is a firm Tim Hortons K-Cup fan.
Dude, they're solid, man, and we can't. Timmy Hortons based out of Canada. They're Eastern U.S. There may be some West Coast stuff with Timmy Hortons, but like central part of the country, I don't know if they even have one. Maybe Dallas has one. I don't know. But,
I got the Blackout Coffee affiliate thing. You know, and she won't buy any of the Blackout Coffee because she's got to have her Tim Hortons.
It's better than Tim Hortons. We got Tim Hortons all over here. People go.
Here's the thing about Blackout Coffee Company. I mean, they never pitched themselves. Originally, they never pitched themselves with. Yeah, they're called Blackout Coffee Company. They've got some skulls and stuff, but they never pitched themselves as like a military themed, like none of their ads or anything originally. But they've kind of gone more that route. But they've always just represented the hardworking blue collar individual. That's always been their philosophy. Start off as a small batch roaster. They've grown exponentially, and yeah, they've made some strong connections with some big YouTubers, but they've done it themselves, and they haven't sold themselves out yet either, which is I think important compared to their competitors. So I do like Blackout Coffee. Yeah, I do have an affiliate link, but I don't. I mean, it's just we all do, but I mean, it's just because they're pro 2A, very pro 2A. If you look at their merch and stuff, and then they also have programs where you can buy a bag of coffee and have it sent off to troops. They also deliver to, but I don't know how it works. PXs or whatnot, they do deliver to military mailboxes and stuff, so you can have it shipped abroad to your family. And so, and they're just now expanding, and you could buy shares. Well, it's closed now, but you could buy shares of their company if you wanted to.
I did.
So they opened up to like so many thousands of shareholders now that they have. So I think they're going to get bigger. I don't know if we'll ever see. Maybe we'll see them on store shelves. Like Black Rifle Coffee Company is, they've got their own cafes. They're in grocery store shelves. They're in Walmart. They're basically
everywhere.
they're saturated. Yeah, and I liked them when they first came out. I loved their pro-America, awesome approach. But then a lot of things came out about Evan Hafer, their founder, he said some stuff, and it really made a lot of people upset, and he donated money, to certain anti-gun groups and stuff, and you're like, what? You just read up on it yourself. It's fine. Yeah. So it doesn't matter at this point, but I really think that they just kind of sold themselves out to build an image and a brand, and as Americans, we kind of forget a lot of times and just move on. So a lot of people don't even realize. So if I see somebody wearing like something Blackout Coffee Company, a hat with an SBR on it or whatnot, it's cool. I'm fine with it. I don't care, but I just don't support them. I just do Blackout instead, because if I'm going to buy from some sort of Army themed coffee company, that's typically what I do, just because I like Blackout. They're small, just small person operation, and the owner is awesome. Yeah. I've communicated with him a lot. John Santos, he supported Thunder on the Prairie. He contacted me when I was a tiny channel and wanted me to review his coffee when I had like 1,000 subs. He's like, hey, you want to review a couple bags of coffee? I'm like, sure, I'll try it. I love coffee. So, he's been cool, man. He's always been cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you sent me some of their coffee. And I'm like, hey, this is some pretty good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Jason Stewart bought some using my affiliate link. He bought the morning one, the medium blend. He's like, this is weak.
Yeah, you got to get there. The good stuff is there. I really do like what I make at Thunder on the Prairie for us is the
Brutal Awakening.
No, it's the FPC Coalition or the 2A. One of the 2A blends is everybody loves that one. It's I don't know if it's not the FPC, but it's the other one that they sell. The Second Amendment.
The GOA one.
The GOA blend is just whatever it is. It's like a medium dark. That's just it just punches, man. People love. We just guzzle it.
I like it.
And then we had a couple different blends. They sent me just with no questions asked. They sent me like 25 sample bags and stickers and stuff for everybody at Thunder on the Prairie, plus stuff to give away. They shipped it to me. I mean, they were awesome. They didn't charge me anything for it. They roasted it up and then shipped it. So it's just good. I appreciate that. It's like if I'm going to spend extra money on these things when I don't have to, and I get that kind of experience from a product, I'm going to be a consumer. That's all it takes to make and I'm no marketing expert, but it doesn't take much to bring in a consumer and keep a consumer, so just don't sell yourself out. That's what it comes down to. So
I want to try their Earl Grey. I'm more of a tea drinker than a coffee drinker, but I guess
I do that. I balance it out. Yeah, especially when it's super hot out. I'll go grab a bottle of like Lipton Dark. You know, I get it at Costco.
My grandmother was first generation American. Her parents came off the boat, right? So I grew up with tea time when I was at my grandmother's house because she grew up with tea time when she was a kid. And
black teas actually have a pretty significant amount of caffeine in them. People don't realize.
Oh yeah, tea has more caffeine in it per ounce than coffee does.
Yeah, a lot of people think espresso is like some super high caffeinated thing. Actually, it only has about as much caffeine as just a standard cup of coffee because of the way
Mountain Dew has more caffeine in it than coffee does.
Yeah, it depends on the blend. I mean, we could argue that. It depends on who puts it. Because Starbucks is hyper caffeinated.
Yeah, I'm talking like your standard coffee.
I just use Folgers as like the standard, you know?
Yeah, your standard coffee, Mountain Dew has more caffeine in it than what coffee does. Coffee doesn't have as much caffeine in it as what people think it does.
Here's Tony's mic drop comment of the day. This is a good one. I want this on a t-shirt. I can't trust a person that doesn't require coffee to function. Remember, kids, coffee, it's the most important meal of the day. Yeah, if you're not, I used to make fun of tea drinkers. Like when people say, oh, I drink tea, I'm like, oh, you're one of those people. I'm so sorry. I would actually kind of mean it as an insult. Like, well, I was like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, you know? I do. I just do.
Tea's good for your heart,
matcha. Too. Look, if you want something that tastes like a bag full of grass that you just cut, you go right ahead, okay? I want something that's got I want dark chocolate. That's what I want, guys. And that's a joke from the pre-chat, so yeah. So anyway,
my dad was a teetotaler. He loved his tea, boy. Let me tell ya.
And you can get Squib. I think I sent you some. We have a tea store here in Lincoln, and they have one called Gunpowder. Because the way the seeds are ground up, it looks like gunpowder, and and that's a cool place to go because you tell them what you like, and they will get you a tea that tastes exactly like what you want. So
I should have a review on. I think I did 2 of the 3 that you sent me.
Yeah,
and I did it to be objective. Like I've had tea before. I don't want to say I like tea, but I don't dislike it. I just have no.
Well, you're from the South. I mean, you kind of have you kind of have that connection.
All right, that's that Southern sweet tea.
Southern sweet tea, so
I can drink tea. It's just something that I don't go out of my way to. I mean, I suppose there's some foods like that too. It's like, I can eat it, but it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
So I can pick out some tastes or flavors in a tea or if it's kind of smooth enough. And I've got some friends that immigrated from the UK, and they said, you can put cream or honey or sugar in your tea, just like coffee. You can drink it just like coffee. So you don't have to just have the tea black or anything else like that. So I thought it would be kind of fun to do that. And maybe I'll do a tea review in the future, but it's just something I don't go out of my way to drink. And I do give tea drinkers crap because I can drink tea, but I'm a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
A lot of tea drinkers won't touch coffee.
Yeah, I don't understand those people.
It's
I feel so sorry for them. They don't know what they're missing out on,
Yeah, I'll drink coffee, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah, you won't turn it down.
You're the tea like I am to coffee, Squib.
Well, it's just like I can drink rum and tequila. It's not my go-to. I'm a whiskey guy, but I'm willing to bet I can drink stronger whiskey than some of these rum and tequila guys. So it's just it's a matter of taste. It's a matter.
I was always more of a whiskey person myself.
So Kevin Jung out there says your caffeine content is regulated by how you brew it. That, and then also the selection of beans, the amount of steeping time. How do you brew it specifically? I do a pour over every morning, one and done. HEB, which we don't have in Nebraska, the grocery chain. Pecan roast is the best in the world. IMHO, of course. Kevin, I need to try some of that. I might reach out to you and pay you to send me a bag of it so I can try, because HEB is a grocery store chain, I believe, and they're in the DFW area. And I've never been to one, but heard it's awesome.
Did you just say pecan?
No, I said pecan.
I knew it. We're getting to you. We're going to bring out that
those ramen noodles. Those ramen noodles, man. If you guys haven't checked it out yet, go over to Squib's channel and watch the breakfast ramen noodle taste test that we did. I got him the cups of the actual Maruchan ramen breakfast cup ramen stuff. So yeah, I call it stuff because I don't even know what it is. You could either fill potholes in your driveway with it, or you could eat it for breakfast. So
yeah.
You notice what I said when I opened the container? I said it looks like the surface of some unoccupied planet. Because it's like chunks of boulders and this yellow powder sitting on top.
Kevin says he'll send you a bag, Travis.
Kevin, I'm going to talk to you, all right? I'll chat with you on the side, and I'll pay you to send me one so I can do a review on it, because that'd be something. I'm not going to get to DFW for a while, So, or I've got family down there that sometimes come up here, but it'd be easier for me just to chat with you on that. So, all right, man, let's go and give a shout out on the YouTube side. I think I've got all the housekeeping stuff out of the way. We're almost 30 minutes in. I'm sorry, guys. It's just been, dude, we're all highly caffeinated this morning. So, Tony York is out there, New York Outcast, Kevin Jung, Squiblift, Tommy Gunn, Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy, Ozzy Orsborn, Mario Mosen's chilling out there too this morning. KY Rides is in the house. Mountain View's out there. Gunmetal Guy USA is watching today. 500 Magnum in the house. I did see Chris from the 740s out there. Guys, make sure you check out his channel. Good stuff over there. He's almost up to 5,000 subs. Squib is almost up into the pocket of big AdSense. He's coming up on 1,000 right now. So wow. Squib, you say that now. You say that now, but
right, so I've got one of my B channels would be the one I would monetize because it's pretty neutral. Like if they're gonna hit that channel with strikes, there's some real problems with this platform, right? But the other ones, no. I'd speak my mind. I say what I want, and this is who I really am. Some people might say I'm mean or grouchy or harsh or, oh, why do you got to swear? Or I don't care. As a matter of fact, somebody trolled one of my videos while we were doing intros, and I sent him back a link to his channel, and it was like, or the name, how they give us the @ with numbers and crap. Yeah. And I said, two subscribers, no videos. Next time, make your own video and send me the link. I don't have to take that crap because I'm not monetized. But what's funny is I'll get right to the hump, or right over the hump to the 100, like 700, 800, 900, right? Yeah. And then I'll get knocked back 30. And then I'll watch it climb up 2 at a time and drop 2 at a time.
It's funny how YouTube likes to regulate the gun channels. And I know you can sit there and say, oh, they don't. Well, I mean, I look at Never Enough Ammo Matt. Never Enough Ammo Matt. He's been at 105,000 subs for he was at 100,000 for like 2 years. He's at 105 now. So, I mean, you can't tell me that. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. Who else is out there?
I put my opinions out there, and I know it's going to cost me. But in the end, I don't do this for money, and there's nothing wrong with being compensated for this, but honestly, dude, I would have to have tens and tens of thousands of subs to even come close to breaking even. And almost everything that I spend on this, I was going to buy it anyhow, so who cares?
And the problem is you make videos that are too good and too informative and too useful to become popular. I mean, that's the truth. If we just did stupid things, blowing stuff up with scantily clad women, our channels would just go skyrocket.
If I used the gun babes for my thumbnails, and I went out in my own backyard, which is in the country, and shot in my own private range and shot things that and I did all the shock and all type videos, and I know exactly what to do to blow my channel up. I don't want to do that. And there's nothing wrong with doing that. That's just not where I want to go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
So I don't even give a crap if I hit 1,000. And when I do,
I'm just giving you a hard time because I know you'd say that. So
I've talked to some of you guys, right? And you're like, just because you hit 1,000 doesn't mean the next day you're monetized.
No, you got to apply for it and get approved. It's not just automatic. So also out there, we got Rich White, M. Gabriel. Let's see who else is watching out there. Make sure we don't miss anybody. I think that's about everyone here. Razor JB's in the house. Squiblift, Squiblo, the whole Squib Empire's out there today. The Squib Eye. Gun Snob's out there watching today too. So Tony York, if I didn't mention him earlier. And Kingpin's out there too. So, all right, so let's get the discussion going on 10mm auto. What I'd like to do is I'd like to give a little history lesson on the caliber, but we're going to do that later on. Just to kind of say something about 10mm auto. I have a very interesting experience with 10mm auto. When I turned 21, my friend's dad won a Glock G20 in a shooting competition. I don't know what it was or what he did, but it was one of the prizes. He got a G20. It was transferred to him, and he got it. The G20 came out in 1991, 10mm Glock, and there was no Gen 1 apparently of a G20. They kind of started with the Gen 2, pre-pick rail, by the way, pre-accessory rail. And so anyway, he won it, and we were down in his gun safe, and we were talking, and he had that G20 sitting there, and we were talking, and so I told him I was going to be looking for my first gun, and he goes, I got this sitting around. If you're interested, I'll sell it to you super cheap. And I was like, I said, I'm kind of interested in that. So I ended up doing a transfer, and I bought it off my friend's dad, and I got it for like $300, which was maybe, it was cheaper than I think it maybe what it sold for. This was back in, whenever I turned 21, I can't do the math right now, 1998 or 1999 or something like that. And so anyway, we got it. So my first gun was a G20, basically Gen 2. And the problem back then is, I couldn't get ammo cheap online like I can now. And it was expensive, and I was in college, and to go to the range and get a box of ammo and stuff, it'd be like $50, for an hour or two. Pretty pricey. And so I just kind of, I had it for a couple of years. I liked it. And for some stupid reason, I traded it at a gun store for a brand new Smith & Wesson SW99. Part of it is I love the Walther, P99 that was in the Bond movie. I wanted that so bad, and 9 was cheaper. So I made the mistake of trading it. And so, but still, I started with a 10 millimeter and really hadn't gone back to it. But recently, in the last couple of years, and I'm going to do a little read here in a little bit, the 10 millimeter, in my opinion, has really made quite the comeback just in terms of the number of manufacturers that make guns for it. Before, you could always get some guns in 10 mil, but now, I mean, what they're doing, the fact that in my opinion, the reason why it's gotten so popular is because you've got companies like Smith & Wesson making an M&P 10 millimeter. You've got SIG doing the P220 and 10 millimeter. You've got, and this has been over about the last 7 years, obviously the Colt Delta, right? But then you've got companies like High Point making a like $125 10 millimeter with a threaded barrel. So you can just at least get into and play around with 10 millimeter with a 5-inch barrel for like $125, $150. So I think it's just 10 millimeters become so much more accessible to people. And yeah, the Glock G20 has always been there. But I mean, anybody that's not a Glock person or just, maybe thought that was a little too pricey or whatever, you've got alternate options now. 10 millimeter High Point carbine, right? So I think that 10 is something that people should really consider. And then we'll talk about the actual ammo effectiveness and so on. Rich, what do you think about the whole proliferation of the 10 millimeter in the last 5 years? What do you think?
I was going to say, Tim over Military Arms Channel yesterday, day before, just put out a video. He picked up one of the Rock Island 10 millimeters from Palmetto State for $399.
Yeah, so Justin Sadudith, I think it's how you pronounce his last name. He sent me an email. I didn't realize it was a 10 millimeter. Sent it to me when I was at work, and I looked at it over lunchtime. I thought it was just a 45 ACP for $399. I didn't realize it was a 10. That is an amazing price because you don't have a lot of inexpensive options for 10 millimeter. Now, Ruger had the SR 1911 in 10 millimeter. At one point, you could get them for sub $700. But here we go. So did he actually shoot it in the video, or was it just a quick?
Yeah, he yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did a full review. He did a full review on it.
I hope they do a Commander or like a compact model. That would just be wicked. Since Glock doesn't manufacture a single stack, I don't believe they make a single stack 10 millimeter yet. They've got some compacts, some miniature models that they sell, some minis. But how'd it run for him? Did he have any problems with it at all?
No, it ran fine.
Well, did he say what he was doing for ammo? Did he mention what it was?
He always uses Federal because he's got Federal always sends him the ammo.
Yeah, and Federal's always been solid for me. I've never had problems with it, either Federal Champion or whatever. So yesterday's Pomade said, I just bought one of those 10 millimeter 1911s from PSA. I'm gonna hold off and see if they don't offer maybe did it have like the enhanced trigger or skeletonized hammer or any of that? It was just a GI style model, right? No,
it had the skeletonized trigger that was adjustable. Okay. It had the hollow hammer, which I forget, the loop style hammer on it.
Yeah, kind of that hollowed out hammer.
I think it had adjustable sights on it.
So I'm going to look this up real quick while we're chatting about this. I'm not going to show it, but maybe we'll come back to it and take a look since we're just kind of starting the discussion right now. Okay, so it must be under their 19. And see, I knew that PSA made 1911s for a while, but I didn't know exactly what their.
They just brought out their Admiral line. Yeah, their Admiral line of 1911s.
So I am currently looking to see if they have it listed on their website. So for $399, guys, I mean, if you want, I mean, that's just okay. So we're talking about 150 more than a High Point. You could have an actual 1911 platform. And my 10 millimeter's been totally fine. I've had no trouble with it at all. It's been great. I mean, I can't complain at all. It's been really nice.
Like Pomade said too, it has a flared magwell on it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the Admiral model, but that one, the Ultra 10 FS is. Yeah. So the PSA Admiral M1911A1 is $549 for that model.
Yeah, we're talking about the Rock Island still.
Oh, the RSA. Okay.
Yeah, it had the flared magwell, the adjustable trigger, the competition style hammer. I mean, it was fully loaded. Yeah, it was a fully loaded pistol for $399.
Dude, and do you get one mag with it or two? Did they mention?
I think you get two with it.
A stupid question. I take it you can't use a 45 ACP mag with it. I mean, that's a dumb thing to say, but it's not cross compatible, is it?
Some are, some aren't. I don't know if 1911s are, but I know some 10 millimeter pistols are cross, but I don't know if the 1911 ones are. I don't have one. So.
Okay. Sweet, man. Single shot.
Pomade said it came with one mag.
Okay, cool. All right, man. So I mean, just the fact that more and more platforms are being added all the time. I think it just took one major manufacturer, 2 or 3, to just kind of come out with something in the line that people are already familiar with, like an M&P, and just kind of appeal to those guys that have always had M&Ps or love M&Ps, and now they can get one in 10 that have always wanted one.
And if you want a higher end one, you can get it. Cosen's got 10mm too now for half the cost.
Arms? Yeah,
for like half the cost of what a Nighthawk or a Wilson Combat would cost.
What, 1,500 from Cosen Arms? Is that
they're around 2,000, between 2 and 2,500 for their 10mm, depending on if you get a single or double stack.
And I don't think Staccato does a 10mm yet. I'm sure they will. I guarantee SHOT Show.
I don't know if they do or not.
Staccato will debut a 10mm at SHOT Show this year. I guarantee it. They're going to have to keep up. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if they'll do a 10mm platform, but it'd be wicked just to have a compactor like a Commander model. That'd be sweet.
Tony, awesome. If you're talking about the length of the gun, it's the same size. The 10mm 1911.
I think you might be talking about the cartridge itself, which
cartridges are about the same size too. The 45 is a little bit bigger around.
Okay, according to Wikipedia, the case length is 25.2 millimeters CIP, 0.992 of an inch, according to Sammy. Overall length is 32 millimeters.
Yeah, he's talking about the cartridge.
Yeah, overall length of the round is 32 millimeters.
Yeah, it's not much different. The main difference is going to be your circumference of the round.
But if you could use 45 ACP mags, that would just be a deal breaker, because I can get them for what? We can get them for $15, $20. You can get it maybe $25 for a good 1911 mag. You know, it depends on what brand you get, who you go through. So that's awesome. It's stuff like that really starts to bring back the popularity of a cartridge, where at one point, like Glock and maybe the Colt Delta were like your only real 2 options. Maybe a European American Armory would make one, or some niche manufacturer, right? They'd make a 10 and you wouldn't even know it. But having something like the M&Ps come out and the SR 1911 and 10, I think that's huge. High Point, I think that's huge for people. I bought one just for the heck of it, just because never going to carry it, right? But I mean, it's just fun to get back into 10. All right, Single Shot, what about you? What's kind of your take on 10mm? Why do you think it's just becoming popular, in our opinion, again? What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. There's a lot of focus on power. I like a 10. I'm thinking seriously about picking up one from M&P.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a chance to, many years ago, try the Delta Elite. That firearm was originally designed for the FBI, but there was a lot of the agents that could not handle that double spring, recoil spring, and get that slide back. That's why they abandoned it.
Well, and the other part of it too was agents with smaller hands couldn't get a proper grip on the gun.
Right.
That was a huge part of it too, and we'll get into the whole history of it here in a little bit. But yeah, I was going to kind of just show off. You're talking about the power of the round. You're just thinking, it's just 1mm. It's not a big deal. It basically can rival, and you can always we can argue, well, this caliber can rival that caliber. It can rival 357 Magnum. If you look at some of these loads, so like for instance, if you go with a 77 grain bullet, you can get 1,300 feet per second, 708 foot-pounds of energy. If you go with, like, say, 155 grain Underwood, 1,500 feet per second, 775 foot-pounds of energy. The thing about it that kind of blew my mind is just even like a standard load of 10mm at 100 yards has more velocity and more energy than 45 ACP. And I love 45 ACP. I love my 1911. I'm just saying that, and you can say, well, 41 mags a step up. It's a never-ending power struggle. But like, if you're going to buy into a cartridge, and it is like, we can argue, you can armchair quarterback back and forth all day over caliber power. Well, I can load this to do that, and then 357 SIG, right? Well, I'm just saying that 10mm, if you want a good, like, I'm looking at the question here from GSB9. Do you think most 10mm owners are still buying them just for the range or defense against animals? Will it go the way of 40 Smith? I would buy it as a stout home defense round, something that is going to, it's all about shot placement. It's all about ammo effectiveness. But if you want to amp it up a little bit and add more foot-pounds of lethality to your firing, go with the 10mm, Yeah.
What does he mean by will it go the way of the 40 Smith & Wesson?
40 hasn't really, it's just, we don't really see a lot of new stuff coming out in 40. Like, I don't really hear of any new models coming out in 40. Nobody's really release something in 40 they've never done before, but
Kosin
it hasn't.
Kosin just released theirs in 40 Smith & Wesson. They do the 1911s
yeah,
in
but
40.
nobody's heard of them. So
yeah.
But I'm just saying I haven't heard of like a new. But I mean, but Taurus does a lot of their guns in 40. So I mean, it's just I don't know. Maybe some people think that 40 just it won't, because you always hear this thing. Is it on its way out? Is it going to go away? No, I don't think so, because it offers a nice, at one point, a more fairly inexpensive alternative to 9mm, a nice step up. Maybe law enforcement still adopting that round is keeping it going. Competitive shooters using it. There's a lot of reasons why 40 isn't going anywhere anytime soon. So
if the question is 40 has been kind of stagnant as far as innovation or new platforms or anything like that, right? If the question is 40's been kind of stagnant, even though it was popular, do you think that's going to happen to 10mm? When 10mm came out, there was only one company making the ammunition, and they were overseas. And there was only one company making a handgun for it. And then
Bren, but then
Bren 10, and the problem they had were they had the guns, they didn't have mags for them.
Yeah.
Then Colt started making the 1911, then Glock come out with a 10mm, and then it went from there. Now you still have trouble finding an affordably priced 10mm, with the exception of the High Point, and you still have higher priced ammo, even though pretty much everybody's jumped on board to make 10mm. It's not just Norma anymore.
But now, don't forget, Squib, the Taurus TH10, probably $349, 15 rounds.
If it ever comes out.
Oh, the TH10's on its way. You can already order them.
Out of stock.
Well, no, but they're making them. The fact is that they will be. People can buy them. They're not vaporware, right? And then also the $399 Rock Island 1911 for. But that's good. We didn't have those options 6 months ago.
Well, let's just see if the Taurus holds up. All right, let's see if they have any issues. Like, I'm not going to run out and buy the first one. I'll let you do that.
Well, they'll
fix it later.
They make the TH in a 40 also. So I mean, to me, and I know it's not the same, but at least the platform is capable of running the round. Now long-term durability, I don't know. I mean, the High Point's fine because it's got 4 pounds of like mother-loving steel on top of it,
and it's got a lifetime warranty.
It's like a dumbbell on the top of it. It isn't. It'll like shred itself apart before it stops running. It's like the. But
10mm came out before there was an internet. 10mm came out when there were lots of FUDs out there going, I got a 44 Magnum. What do I need one of them for? That sort of thing. 10mm came out and survived without all of these YouTube channels pushing it, or without all of the support. It's been around for decades, and it's not going anywhere. If somebody says, well, 40 hasn't been innovative, 10mm doesn't look like I don't know. It seems like there's a resurgence with 10mm, and these things sort of come and go in the industry. I'd like to see some variety out there for the shooters in ammunition and handguns, and I like to see product support. Don't make a 10mm, then go out of business, and now nobody can even buy parts for your gun.
Look at Fluffy's comment. My 4-inch M&P 10mm was junk, and so was their customer service. That is sad, because Smith & Wesson has been coming out in the last couple of years being so pro-consumer, about the Second Amendment and trying to make quality products, right? And I know that 10mm, there's a lot of other YouTube channels that had problems with their M&P 10s. That's another thing, too, is do you really want to buy something that's a fresh run right off the production line? Now, I did with the High Point, but that was just because it was, I mean, the 40 and the 45 were already there. They didn't really stray from the formula. They really couldn't screw up what's already not a good thing, but something that does run, right? So I wasn't super worried about it. Plus, if there's problems, I could send it back in and they take care of it. And High Point does have genuinely good customer service. So, I mean, Fluffy's got a good point there, If I did another 10, it'd probably be a G20 just because I missed having one, and that's where things started for me, and I'd like to go back to it. Just real quick, we're talking about, well, I don't really see any 10mm for sale. This is something I want to read from you. It says, in 2015, Sig Sauer entered the 10mm marketplace with their P220 model, chambered in 10mm. That's a fantastic handgun. Ruger introduced a 10mm auto model to their popular SR 1911 line in 2017, followed by their Blackhawk, Red Hawk, and 10mm GP100 Match Champion and Wiley Clap models in 2018. The Springfield Armory XDM series added a 10mm offering in late 2018. In November of 2021, Smith & Wesson introduced the 10mm M&P 2.0, and then it goes on.
Before that, Smith & Wesson also had the 610, which is a revolver 10mm.
True. I mean, it's not like they've always been there. We just haven't opened our eyes to look around. In 2022, SIG released the 10mm auto, P320 X10 in the P320 series. In 2023, Arms Corps, Colt, Dan Wesson Firearms, FN, I forgot about that, Glock, Kimber, Nighthawk, Ruger, Sig Sauer, Smith & Wesson, Springfield Armory, STI, and Tanfoglio offer handguns in 10mm auto. So to say that there's no guns for sale, you just need to get out there and do some research and find them. Go do a gun broker search, filter semi-auto by 10mm or revolver, and boom, you've just reached the happy land of guns for sale. So
I think the price point, the cost of most of the handguns and the PCCs and the price of the ammo is why people are turned off by it. But then you'll have somebody go out there and buy a 357 SIG or a 30 Super Carry. It's
45 for some reason. They were drunk and had no idea what they were doing. You know, it's
dude. You do this, but then you say that. So
yeah.
Millimeter's not for everybody. Somebody's going to go the recoil.
It's like Nebraska squib. It ain't for everyone.
Yeah, but I think it's the price. It really is. With a lot of gun owners, it just comes down to money. If the gun ain't cheap or inexpensive, because I guess there is a difference. I shouldn't say I guess. There is a difference. If the gun isn't inexpensive, mags aren't inexpensive, and ammo isn't inexpensive, don't talk to me. Well, that same person won't drink $22 a pound coffee. They don't know what they're missing, I guess.
So I'm just looking now. They're out of stock, but I can get a notification when they come back in. Sportsman's Warehouse has the TH10 listed for $439. They sometimes are a little bit high on their handguns. I'm guessing you can probably find $399 if you look around elsewhere. But again, $439. I would personally rather have the Rock Island, but the TH10 does have much more of a capacity too. You know, it's got, what did I say, 15 plus 1? Yeah, 15 plus 1 of 10mm. Now, granted, for $100 more, I could get a Gen 4 G20. I'd honestly rather have the Glock instead of the Taurus just because I think it's going to last longer. And that Taurus is hammer fire, but there's a lot of, you know, I don't know. I'm just saying that you can get it if you want it. Go ahead, Rich. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Firefighter 09100, you're the young person here. You're going to be carrying on the flame when all of us go to Valhalla. What is kind of your take on 10mm? What do you think about this?
Well, if the simulations are correct and in the post-nuclear world, it'll be the most common thing in the United States.
There you go. Is that from Fallout or something, or what? Yeah.
Because think about it, in Fallout, you could find a Walter PPK chambered in 10mm.
Everybody comes like
busted frame in 2 seconds
because of the effects of radiation. All the guns just suddenly start getting chambered in, like the guns mutate into 10mm. You know, because of the
I don't like shooting a Walther PPK in 380. I do not want to shoot one in 10mm.
Oh my God, that would be so unpleasant. That would like cut your hand apart. You'd have to wear gloves or something just to make it run. So. Oh man. So I am just kind of looking right now, just for the heck of it. I'm going to compare some quick ammo prices. So what I got up on the screen for you guys, I'm going to bring up 40 Smith & Wesson just on a side window because I'm just curious to see what price per round is. Okay. So 40 Smith & Wesson, Aguila. Okay. We're looking at 25.9 cents per round for 180 grain FMJs. A little bit more to go 10mm, but you're also getting a higher performing ammunition. Least expensive on AmmoSeek is Lax Ammo at 35.7 cents. If you don't like that, because some people don't like Lax Ammo, you could go with MagTech for 35.8 cents per round if you don't mind buying 1,000 rounds. Range and Training, 10mm auto, 180 grain full metal jacket. Obviously, we're reloaders here too, so you can always go that route if you want to. And there is a plethora, and yes, I just said plethora of self-defense 10mm rounds out there. You can get critical defense, you can get gold dots. There's probably Lehigh ammunition, just it goes on and on and on. So, but it at 35.7 cents, you know, that's giving you a pretty potent round for, I would guess, probably less than the price of 357 mag, obviously 41 mag. We're not going to compare it to 44 Magnum because that's a whole different thing, right? A whole different beast right there. But to be able to get into it, it's not like it's that much more expensive than say 40. You're only looking at maybe another $5 per box. And at one point at Shields, I could get 10mm if I didn't mind buying just some plain brand of ammo, like just say I could even get Fiocchi for less than the price of the 40 cal Blazer that they were selling. So, I mean, it is just you just got to look around for the good deals on it. So it's not like you can't stock up on it. Just do what I did. Just go buy a box here and there. And before you know it, you'll have 6 or 8 boxes. And I bought a bunch of different brands. Now, when I tested it in the High Point, power-wise, what felt the most powerful, and I don't think I chrono tested it, unfortunately, the 6-hour just standard FMJ out of the box was a very hot round. I could feel it when I would shoot it. No cycling issues with any of the 10mm stuff that I fired. I think maybe some of the weaker feeling cycling stuff, and you notice it on that gun just because of how big the slide is, was probably just like the Blazer. I think I might have got some aluminum case stuff just to run through for the heck of it. And so like the SIG is a solid, good practice round to go with. And it was expensive. I want to say it was probably $40 a box or something, maybe 37, 35 a box. So it was a bit more than just basic FMJs. But I mean, otherwise, yeah, I think that, you don't have to invest an arm and a leg in the ammunition if you don't want to, So I don't know. I just think that, and if you look at all the options out there, there's a lot that's out there. So let's go back to the comments here. It's been a while since I took a look at it here. Armed Rebellion says, when you buy guns in certain ammo calibers that you really like, the price doesn't matter. Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
If you're the person that accepts that, I'm just saying that, being on YouTube, talking with a lot of people, whether it just be in the live chat or on the panels on shows or even in the comment section, a lot of people will whine about price of everything. And I think that's the top factor for a majority of gun owners. Those people that say, I'm not going to waste my money. It's value to me. So you might think that it's too expensive, but for me, it's a value. I'm not so much worried about price because I know what I'm getting for the money. So I agree with his statement, but I just think that a majority of gun owners look at price as their top criteria, and then everything else is whatever.
Tommy Gunn says, anybody want a 356 Winchester? Where can I find ammo? Was that a thing? 356 Winchester? Was that a Canada only thing?
Rifle caliber from
Tommy, you got to elaborate a little bit, buddy. What are we talking about? Or was that a typo? I mean, maybe you guys that are caliber, junkies or nerds, I'm gonna 356. It is a real thing. Okay. So Ammo Seek has no ammo for sale for it, but there is a listing for 356.
You're probably going to have to reload it yourself.
Yeah.
You might even have to cast your own bullets.
Tommy, I don't know what it is up in Canada. What are your regulations for reloading ammo? Is that an issue at all? Usually, for the most part, us reloaders get left alone by the government. I remember one time, like one of the politicians came out and was ripping on reloaders, saying that there's something wrong with them and this and that. We're like, whoa, no. Don't bring us into this because we're not. When's the last time you've heard about a reloader committing some sort of mass murder, right? That's not, it's an art, it's a craft. Don't even go after that demographic,
Well, it's like them going after 22s or pump action shotguns. They know the FUDs vote them in because they don't care about them new modern plastic black guns. Nope. But those FUDs also reload. So there are certain things that I'm not saying will never get looked at or never get touched.
Yeah.
But they look at the demographics and they go, most people have got daddy's old revolver or a shotgun, and some of these old guys reload because they want to save money. So we're not going to mess with that.
Now, I'm a huge fan. I love 357 SIG. Fluffy says, I was getting 357 SIG ammo for $20 a box if you buy it at 300 rounds. You look around, you can find some deals on. I love 357 SIG. I love how accurate it is.
Oh, yeah.
I love how potent the round is. I think it's great. You can say, well, you can get this will do the same thing. Great, fun, whatever. I just like that round. And I like 357 Magnum anyway. I've always had great experiences with it. It's always been a good performer for me on the range. So to get a semi-auto version of that with rounds that can be comparable to 357 Magnum, there's nothing wrong with that. And yeah, you are buying into, I'm not going to call it a niche caliber, but a caliber where you might not just find a box of it on the shelf at your local tractor supply company, right? You might have to order it or go to a sporting goods store or go to a gun store to go get it. But yeah, there's nothing wrong with that either. Okay, what I'm going to do now is give us just a quick little, I'll try to do this quickly, just kind of a brief history lesson on 10 millimeter auto. Where did it come from? Why do we care, right? Like, what's the idea behind it? Just kind of a neat history lesson because you may not realize how old this caliber actually is. So here's what we know, guys. 10 millimeter is a semi-automatic pistol cartridge introduced in 1983. Its design was adopted and later produced by Norma. So a lot of people don't realize it is that Norma was one, and Squib, you mentioned this earlier. Norma was one of the primary manufacturers, if not the only manufacturer of that ammo back in the day, right? So going on, it says, although it was selected for service by the FBI in 1989 in the aftermath of the 1986 FBI Miami shootout, the cartridge was later decommissioned except for the hostage rescue team and special weapons and tactics teams after their firearms training unit eventually concluded that its recoil was excessive for training average agents and police officers to adequate competency to pass qualification, which if you had to do some sort of a qualification that required so many rounds downrange within a certain spread, I can understand that. Or just somebody myself that had to qualify this summer, it's not going to be fun with 10 millimeter. Not that you couldn't get used to it, but if it's just not physically possible, well, then you got to move on to something else, right? If the masses can't do it, you don't have a choice. It said that these, go ahead.
To touch on the hostage rescue team and the FBI SWAT team, they had probably the coolest 10 millimeter of them all. They had the MP10, which was the 10 millimeter version of the MP5.
I was going to mention that. That is the bucket list gun for me. When I win the lottery, I will have one. I will have an MP510, guys. Oh my God. You want to talk about beast mode? That's it right there, man. That's like dropping an LS.
Firepower there.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
All right, so these issues led to the creation of and the following replacement by a shorter version of the 10 millimeter that exists today as the 40 Smith & Wesson. And while the 10 millimeter never attained the mainstream success of its compact variant, which I disagree with now, there's still an enthusiastic group of supporters and users. As of 2007, in recent years, it has started to grow again in popularity. And so that's an older, kind of reference to the 10 millimeter. So when Norma designed the cartridge at the behest of something Enterprises for their Bren 10 pistol, a newly developed handgun with a design inspired by the CZ75, the company decided to increase the power over Cooper's original concept. The resulting cartridge, which was introduced in 83, produced in 83 and produced since, is very powerful, retaining the flat trajectory and high energy of a Magnum revolver cartridge in a relatively short, versatile rimless cartridge for the semi-automatic pistol. Now, one of the first issues with early acceptance as a result of quality problems and as a result of rush production to meet numerous pre-orders of the pistol was originally, as well being the only gun chambered for it, the Bren 10. An example is the peculiar circumstances surrounding the pistol's distribution at its primary release, leading to a number of Bren 10s sent to dealers and customers without magazines. The magazines themselves had complications for some reason. The relatively high price of the Bren 10 compared to other pistols at the time was $500 in 1986, the equivalent of $1,200 for one gun back in 2021. And then that was pretty much what caused its demise. But then Colt, making the Colt Delta Elite, a 10 millimeter version of the 1911, started to bring back, that caliber into popularity by offering a more stable, reliable platform. And later, the FBI's adoption of the caliber in 89, the cartridge might have sunk into obsolescence, becoming an obscure footnote in firearms history. And then it goes on talking about the Miami Vice connection and how that was one of the guns carried by Crockett or Tubbs, one of the two guys, right? The FBI did field test the 10 millimeter M1911 at one point and a Thompson model 1928 before adopting the Smith & Wesson 1076 in 1990, a short barrel version of the model 1026 with its slide mounted decock firing pin block. A contract was signed with H&K to produce a quantity of the specialized MP5s utilizing the cartridge designated MP510 for, again, like you said, Rich, the hostage and rescue teams and the SWAT teams. Since 1994, both units still field the weapon and caliber to this day. And then it just goes on talking about kind of how the caliber kind of floated around, but then 40 Smith kind of took over for whatever reason, maybe because it wasn't as punishing to shoot, I guess you could say, as a 10 millimeter. It's not to me, but to some people it might be. And then we get to the notes that I shared earlier about just how many manufacturers still make that cartridge to today. So 93, 103, 13, 23. So we got 40 years of 10 millimeter production already. So it's not a new caliber, right? This isn't something that has just come out, right? We do have a super chat real quick. Arm Rebellion 47. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate that. So that's the chatty history of basically the 10 millimeter auto cartridge. Just talking about it real quick. Single shot, have you owned anything in 10 millimeter before? I can't remember. Did you say that? No,
not yet.
You fired it. You fired it before though. You have? Yeah. Okay.
That one that I shot was one of the Delta Elites, and I concur about that double recoil spring. It takes a good hand and arm to operate that thing, get that thing charged for the first shot. But it is powerful. I'll give it that. I consider the horsepower on that 10 mil pretty close to the 41 mag. I've got a couple of 41 Magnums. I got a barrel for my Contender, and I've also got a Smith & Wesson Model 57. And that 57 has got some. She's got some horsepower. Ain't no doubt about that. I happened to pick that up off of a game warden that was retiring. He reloaded it and had several boxes of bullets, a few boxes of ammo, and the firearm. I picked it up for a good price for the whole thing, and it had been used on duty, had the normal holster wear, and it was in pretty good shape. I don't think he really put too many rounds through that thing, but she shot pretty good. It still shoots good. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious about this M&P 40 because I've got the 40 cal anyway, Smith & Wesson.
And you can get police trade-in M&P 40s for under $300 all day online.
Oh yeah,
and you
that's how I got mine.
Up a little bit. You might have some holster wear. You might have to get. The problem I have with that is that once you buy it, if you got to buy another mag, if you've got to buy a new recoil spring, if it needs new sights, it's almost pointless. Just buy a new one because it's going to have a factory warranty. And M&P 40s new are what, $400 maybe, $425, I would guess. So
I mean, I didn't pay that much for mine, but
it's a tried and true design. It's been carried by several law enforcement agencies. I'd buy one. I'd have no trouble with it, So
a lot of the guys up in Maine now, the law enforcement agencies carry 40.
I was thinking, Tony York, don't you have an SD 40? Isn't that what your carry is or something? I had an SD9 VE, an SD40 VE maybe. I could be wrong on that. So Squib, other than loving that high point at Thunder on the Prairie 2023, what experiences do you have with 10 millimeter?
My only experience is at Thunder on the Prairie this year and last year, just with the Glocks and the high point. I still have not shot a 10 millimeter revolver. I've got a 10 millimeter PCC carbine downstairs. It's incomplete. I have not finished it. It's sitting around.
You take Glock mags? You take Glock mags?
Yeah, it does.
Nice.
Yeah, it does. And that's why I keep Glock mags and stock that, and they're just good props for videos. But and I do have a Glock mag video that I've been wanting to make for a couple of years now, and I just haven't got around to it. But so I'd like to shoot a 1911. I'd like to shoot a revolver. I'd like to eventually get all the parts together and finish that carbine. I talked to the manufacturer, and I'm like, guys, what's going on? It's not like the factory shut down. How hard is it to make the parts and keep them in stock? They go in stock for like 5 minutes and they're out.
Now, are you trying to get a BCG or what?
A couple this and that. It's from New Frontier Armory. It just seems like the stuff that I want is always out of stock, and the stuff everybody else wants is always in. So I think it's because I want some of the more rare stuff. It's like, then take it all your catalog, but then I'm stuck with an AR pistol, and I don't want that crap. So anyhow, at some point I'll have a 10 millimeter and I can do something with it, but otherwise I've got to just weasel an opportunity to shoot somebody else's. So at some point I need to pony up and get a 1911. But I mean, I'm looking on the Ruger website, and the SR 1911, the MSRP is dang near $900 now.
So they've gone up $200 in the last 3 years, and it's 4 years. Yeah.
As much as I love the 1911, I just at this point I don't.
If you're going to push me into a Ruger and SR 1911 for $1,000, I'm going to start looking upscale at that point. Because I mean, at $679 when I bought mine, 3 years ago, thanks to you, it was in Kingpin, I think also. It offered a lot of value for the money because it was a couple $100 more than Rock Island, a little bit better fit and finish, had the color and I'm glad I bought mine when I did, but you're going to up it to like $779, $879 now. I mean, God, unless I could get one for say $750, and I don't even know if they even make the 10 millimeter anymore. I'm not sure if that's even in production anymore.
Yeah, it's in production. I'm looking on their website.
Oh, that's the one you're looking at? Okay.
$1,300 for the 10 millimeter SR 1911. Now,
I hate to say it, for that price, I'm going SIG. I'm sorry. I'm going to get a P220. So I'll go P220. Yeah.
Well, it's got some nicer rear adjustable sights. It's got a skeletonized hammer. Looks like the beaver tail on it's a little bit extended. Right, your mags are obviously going to cost a little bit more because they're not going to work.
1911 has those things too, skeletonized trigger.
This looks like it's got a. I mean, it's like a stainless finish. I'm looking at the Target model, but still, even though it's a Target model, $20 or $1,300. That's just.
Here's the thing, dude. I mean, I'm looking at Glocks, and it seems like Glocks and the Glock 19s have been $550 forever. And then I look at Ruger, and they keep jacking their prices up. When I go watch my old videos, just as a little historical reference, I'll go watch an old Ruger video and look at the MSRP because I always showed it off in the video, and then go there now, and it's like, man, they jacked that gun up $150, and not do anything more with it. It's the same exact gun they sold 5 years ago.
And that's just it. Yeah. I mean, people can talk about inflation and stuff like that. The materials have gone up, but they haven't gone up that much. I mean, as little materials you need to make this stuff, parts for the machines, things like that. Wages have gone up. That's been probably the biggest thing for manufacturers is wages and recruiting. You spend an arm and a leg getting people just to have them turn around and quit or not show up to work. So you have to spend a lot of money in that.
Material
so I'm
costs.
not saying that they don't have costs they have to recoup, but $1,300 to me isn't a competitive price. At that point, I'll start looking somewhere else too.
What's a lead cost? $1,300?
Yeah, that's just it. It's like, why wouldn't I just
get the resale value in the end anyway? Right.
Yeah, so my thing is, I didn't get off my butt when I should have and bought a Colt or a Ruger. Now they're higher price, and for me, I'm not justifying the price for me at this point. It doesn't mean that at some point I might not pay it, but right now that's got me saying if I'm going to look, I'm going to look at other avenues. I don't want to high point, but there might be something out there that maybe the Taurus, maybe after it's been out for a couple of years, and we'll see how it goes. But I mean, I really do want a 1911 and 10 millimeter. Rich brought up the 10 millimeter revolver. You can shoot 40 Smith in those. I've looked at I looked at a Ruger years ago. That's probably not even, while I'm on their page, I should look.
Okay, so Delta Elites are showing at 1900. My bad, but I'm just saying at 1200, there's other brands I'd go buy.
But here's the thing. Once you reach that threshold, 1300, 1900, I'm going, what's the difference? Somebody else might go, that's $600. Dude, you're already over $1,000 for a stock or almost stock 1911. So, be a grizzly bear, I guess. But I just, maybe a 10 millimeter auto revolver. So what about, does Taurus have a 10 millimeter revolver?
I don't think they do.
No, not yet.
They will at SHOT Show this year. That's the one thing they haven't done yet. So, or they'll just that, or they're going to make some of their other models into Toro models. Taurus is the Apple computer of the handgun industry. They'll do these incremental changes, but nothing radically new. But they'll just keep selling us on just feeding us little crumbs. We have optics cut this year. Oh, we've offered new colors. Oh, we now have Glock sights. It's like going from an iPhone 4 to a 4S to a 5.
That 460 of theirs is kind of nice.
Yeah, you can find something over on the Taurus. I would just get a 357 mag from Taurus, maybe a 44 mag.
You better eat your Wheaties.
But yeah, what do we say? There's the GP100s available in 10 millimeter. The Ruger is.
So I'm just seeing the Smith & Wesson 10 millimeter. The Ruger 10 millimeter revolver must be out of production, but I mean its MSRP is $1,200. All right. Yeah. So, if I'm going to spend 12 or 13, would I go for the cool factor and get the revolver? What I'm saying? Whereas before, $700 or $800 for a 10 millimeter 1911. Okay. Yeah. Let's talk, but
That's the thing with the Smith & Wesson 610 is it goes away for a little bit and then comes back and then goes away for a little bit and then comes back.
So Scott79 says the only drawback to the Rock Island is that it uses para-ordnance mags and they're expensive and hard to get. Are we talking the new Rock Island that's $399? That one uses those mags? Because you would think that you could get mags from anywhere now with like Gun Mag Warehouse or whatever, or even Rock Island would sell mags for it. That is the one thing, like before you guys buy a gun, if it's something you want to shoot a lot, or it's going to be your carry, or it's going to be just like the only gun you're going to have, really investigate and make sure you can get mags for it and make sure they're not like $100 a mag. Because like I know for my Walther PDP, it came with 2 mags. I got 2 mags when I bought it from Defense Dad, and I wanted extra mags, and for the longest time for that model I couldn't find any. I was on a wait, and 6 months later they finally showed up at like Locked and Loaded Firearms, got them in. So I bought 3 of them so I'd have 5, and I think I got them at like $38 a pop, because the more you bought the cheaper they were. But they're like $45-$50 a magazine, which is ridiculous because they're no fancier. Well, I think they're all metal, so they're not plastic, but they're no fancier than anything else I've ever bought. But I think those are made by Walther in Germany. I don't think that they're made by Mekar. if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So nothing against Mechar.
Yeah.
Mechar makes great magazines, so I don't.
When I got the replacement magazines for my 40, it came with 2 mags. I said, I want 3 more. I picked up 3 more. I think I paid a little over $30 a piece for those, but those are steel mags, and I've tested them all on the range there, fully loaded, and they function very nicely. Don't have any trouble with them at all. I think those are Mechar, come to think of it.
Well, yeah. I'm going to go and answer Tony's question. Check it out, Tony. Squib, this is what I would rather have versus an SR 1911-10. Look at this, right? It's Turkish.
Nice.
Let's just get that off the table right now. I don't care, right? A TSOS 1911 D10 semi-auto pistol, 10 millimeter, 5-inch barrel, 8-round Cerakote, black and tan. Hopefully it'll take like a common pattern magazine. I mean, look at that. You've got the extended beaver tail, skeletonized trigger, hollow hammer, adjustable rear sights, sweet finish. I love the two-tone. Black and tan, whatever those are, lock grips on it.
Doesn't Girsan have the 10 millimeter Hunter? So it's the
yeah, Girsan. They do a more compact model too. I think maybe Clovertac had showed it off on his channel, or him or Ghost had shown off the 10 millimeter Girsans. Yeah.
So these ridiculous prices might convince me to look into getting one of the Turkish guns. I did want to get one of the Girsan Beretta 92 clones just to do a test on it, just to see how well, I'll have the Beretta, the Taurus, and the Girsan. What I really want, I can't remember the model number of it. I want a real French contract M9. The French Armateur carried the M9 as their sidearm for a long time, and they got a license from Beretta to make them in France. I would love to have a real French one. That one I'd shell out the money for over one of these clones. But maybe if I get one of these Turkish handguns, the Beretta 92 clone, and it works out well, then maybe I might be more inclined to try out one of these Turkish 1911s.
Yeah, every TSOS and Girsan, you got to take it with a grain of salt, but I don't ever hear about them being problematic out of the box, even like the reviews of the customers that buy them on websites. Like, here's a Girsan, here's your MC 1911. This is their smaller model, so 4.4-inch barrel. It's smaller than the Hunter model. MSRP $757. So about the price,
my thing is with foreign manufacturers of firearms, I haven't had as good a success with warranty issues versus an American. Not saying that there's all American companies handle their warranties good and all foreign companies don't, right? But I haven't had as good a luck with that, or sourcing spare parts. I like to keep spare parts for all my guns. That would be one of the drawbacks. On the other hand, the price point there, or as long as the availability of magazines is there, I might still consider it, that sort of thing. But I know if I buy a surplus gun that was made overseas, you get what you get. It's surplus, right? These are new production guns.
Yeah.
So I'd be kind of interested to see what the warranty support was for one of these versus the Ruger. If Ruger wanted to say, look, man, we can charge $1,300 because we'll put a lifetime warranty on it, or we'll put an unwritten lifetime warranty on it, and we'll take care of you if you get another squib load. If you destroy another barrel, another one of our barrels.
You know what, though, dude? I mean, looking at how many models Girsan and TSOS have released in the U.S., they're not going anywhere anytime soon. They're huge. They're starting to rival Taurus as a value price pistol manufacturer. The fact they do semi-auto 9s for like $300,
So if they've got a U.S. customer service center, or their importer runs a service center where it's like, hey, man, this X, Y, or Z broke, and they're like, we'll ship you out another one. Give us your address. Then I'm like, okay, let's talk. I mean, I do like to buy American, support American jobs. Don't get me wrong. And I will pay double or triple or quadruple in some cases for an American-made product over a foreign product. But it just depends on what it is. I just really don't see them saying, hey, look, man, we've got to practically double the price of our 1911 that we've been making, that everybody's been making on 1911 forever. We've got to double it over the past 3 years for reasons. So just,
Girsan says limited lifetime warranty, which generally means lifetime for the first owner. And I mean, even like Canik, I don't think Canik does a 10 millimeter yet in the USA, but Canik is building or has built a USA factory. It's just easier for those companies for importation rules to have a factory here. That Girsan is a nice looking gun, silver finish. It is more. It's 920 versus 757. Personally, honestly, I would probably just get the two-tone for 757. I like that. I think that looks cool.
All right.
I think it's kind of neat.
Okay, 920 for that Girsan. 920.
733 if you want all black. 757.
What about the one the
stainless steel?
That was
stainless
not okay.
Steel.
The Ruger stainless steel as well. It's got the same sort of sights, trigger, hammer, beaver tail. It doesn't have the rail. Okay, but otherwise, all right. Now 920 versus 1300. I'm going to go for the Ruger. And somebody might go, but that's $400. Dude, at this point, what's the difference? So this isn't, I don't think this is competitively priced. But if you just want a 1911 and you don't care about all the bells and whistles and stuff, or you're not comparing it apples to apples with the Ruger, then go with one of the ones that, you know, it's got a different finish and stuff and save the money.
I guarantee you're going to find this for $699. This is not going to be $733 because Gearson and TSOS are always below MSRP at most of my gun stores and stuff. So, and that's just an all black one. So if you want to go 10 milli, $733, just get a 1911 platform, or like we said, just go get the Rock Island for $399. I'll go buy 2 of them for the same price of one of these, you know, or buy one, a bunch of mags and a case of ammo and call it a good day, you know. So Mountain View says that Rock Island has a deal on PSA, double stack 45 ACP 1911. It's a 10 rounder, but they sell 14 rounds, 14 round para magazines, sub $400. For a double stack? No, it's not a double stack. Is it a double stack? 10 round would be a double stack.
It's a 10 round for 1911.
So when we say they're the para ordnance mags, or they were only made by para ordnance, now they're gone, or is it the para ordnance type mag that like
type mag
that Mechgar makes them, or somebody else makes mag for it? Because I mean, para's been gone for a while, right?
Yeah, they've been. Unfortunately, they made a fantastic 1911.
Yeah, they were bought by Remington.
Got 2 of them.
I got 2 of them. I'm on the EAA website right now, and 10mm mags for the Gearson are $36 each. Now that's more than what I pay for aftermarket mags for my 45 caliber 1911, but still 36. I've seen mags for handguns go for like $50, $60, $100.
Oh
So 36 isn't too bad.
Yeah, 36 is cheaper than what I would pay for more magazines for my P365. So.
I think I pay about that much for mags for the G2C and 40 Smith & Wesson. So, yeah, you know, that's not too bad. I mean, and you have to look at that sort of thing if you're looking at spending the money on this, if you really want to get into it.
Yeah, the P365, the 12-round mag, you're looking at $40 to $45 for those.
Yeah, when I was searching around for magazines for my Para P14, holy crap. After that situation we had here several years ago with high capacity quote unquote magazines, everybody was picking them up as fast as they could get their hands on them, and they were gouging bad. Jeez, I found one. Where was this? Out in Ohio. I think there was a gun store out there on the route that I was traveling at that time, and I stopped there. He had one mag for a Para P14 45 ACP, and he wanted over $100 for that mag.
Yep, I remember that. I remember when they were going for... See, back in the day, what you could do is you literally buy the components and assemble the mag yourself, and you pay less than a fully assembled mag.
Yeah.
It was really weird how they would do that if you just were buying parts for the gun. Or you could buy an aftermarket floor plate for it or aftermarket spring, and it was less than buying a fully assembled magazine. I could never figure that out, but that's what I did when I had a Para.
So I'm seeing 438 here for this one, but this is slightly enhanced over the standard GI model. Well, it is a GI standard, but it's all black with black grips on it. So 438, it says in stock on clearance. So when these are gone, I don't know if Rock Island's discontinued them or if they're just moving them out or what, but
that was...
Oh no, that's 9mm. My bad. I thought that was 10.
Yeah.
Because I typed in Rock Island Armory and I can't seem to find anything.
They may be out of. They may be out of them because they had a limited quantity left of the 10mm and the 45. So they may be gone.
Yeah. But still, it's a good sign that, you know, we might see other manufacturers start to step up or have some other, you know, offerings and so on. And if all else fails, if you don't know what to do, just go get a G20. Mine was great. A little hard, little heavy to shoot, you know, but you can get used to it. But if you just, you know, $550 will probably get you, maybe 600 get you a Gen 5, 650 will get you an optics cut G20. There is one that I really like that's over on Gunbroker. It's got a custom camo finish on it, and it's an optics cut G20 Gen 5. And they want like $978 for it. Granted, a custom Cerakote finish is probably going to run you $200 anyway, like a good one.
Yeah.
But I'd love to have that. But yeah, so nice. Let's see. Will
I'll
be well
answer
armed.
this one.
Says problems with para ordnance mags. The ones in the 90s are 10 rounds max. I have a few P12, then only hold 10 rounds.
That's because you got a P12. You get the P14. Be a man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Defense Dad, Mike, another mic drop commented that 10 millimeter, 11 millimeter, whatever it takes. 11 millimeter will probably come out pretty soon. That'll come out in a couple of years.
There was an 11 millimeter.
Really?
It's a 19th century European rifle cartridge.
Oh, nice.
Black powder.
Nice. At 10 millimeters, great grandpappy. Rich White, USP 40 mags are ridiculous on sale. You might find them for $45. That's what like a lot of Walther mags cost though today too. But it's like you can go get a Glock mag
That
for
fine German
25.
engineering.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That fine premium that you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
So, yep.
And keep in mind too that the USP mags are polymer; they're not steel.
That's more of a deal breaker, isn't it? So
Polymer's just one word. It's a nice way to say cheap plastic.
Well,
so real quick,
I got 30-year-old the plastic 30-year-old USP mags, and they're still running fine. So
there you go. I'm going to take just a moment here and get a cheap plug out here. I'm going to put an address down here for my third YouTube channel called Live Love Nebraska. I just want to get it out there. I want you guys to go over there. I want you guys to subscribe to it. My buddy Matt and I are putting some food review videos up there. Mom and pop is kind of the focus. Mom and pop restaurants, businesses, things to do in Nebraska that are fun and free. That's what the focus is on that channel over there. So if you want some good places to go and some fun stuff to do, just go subscribe to Live Love Nebraska. And my buddy Matt and I will entertain you. We have a lot of fun making the videos, and he wanted to get a channel going. So we did go to a really good restaurant last night. We're going to make a video on that. We've got a couple coming out for Canyon Joe's Barbecue. So that's my cheap plug over there. Go click on it. Go subscribe. Not a lot of videos up right now, but we're making more for it. We're balancing work, family, that kind of thing, jobs, right? So we're going to make sure we get it out there. So that's something I want you guys to go check out when you get a chance. So, yeah, I don't know. Anything else you guys want to say about 10 millimeter? Anything else out there that you guys want to get into? What about reloading 10 millimeter? Is it tough? Is there anything you need to know? Is there any precautions you got to take for it? What's the parent case for the 10? It's what?
Same process as
there is no parent case.
Like what is it? It's its own parent. Its own parent.
Yeah, the 10 is the parent case for the 40.
Yeah, so it's its own thing. So I mean, in brass prices hard to find. Yes, no, 10 millimeter brass.
Starline brass.
Starline, yeah, I'd go that way. I mean, I get range pickups, so over the years I've got a coffee can of them in nickel and regular brass. Saving it for when I start reloading 10 millimeter. The components, I made a mistake in one of my videos there, and somebody corrected me in the comment section, so I do appreciate it when I actually get a correction, not an ignorant comment. And the 10 millimeter and the 40 use different size primers, but otherwise it's the same bullet.
So here's the thing, man. Unless you got the primer and the powder right now, we're looking at 23 cents per round at Starline for new brass. Now, granted, every time you reuse it, you're going to be saving money, but 23 cents versus new manufactured ammo at 35 cents. It's hard to want to get into reloading it, but we don't do it to save money. All right?
Well, especially if you go to a range where they won't let you pick up your brass.
Yeah.
People can say what they want to say about the fact that they don't allow rapid fire at my range. But dude, I pay $4 to shoot all day long. I can leave and come back and not pay again. And I've left there with over $120 in brass. My range bag weighs more leaving than coming
out.
You're like this little goblin in the basement
all the way.
Piles of brass behind you. I've got my 45 over here, and my
I've
9
actually
over here,
picked up brass and shipped it to other YouTubers in other parts of the country where they're at ranges where they're not allowed to pick up their brass. They're like, man, I need some of this. I need some. No problem, dude. And hunting season is coming up, so I'm going to be picking up some 30-30. I'll be picking up 450 Bushmaster like crazy. 350 Legend. I mean, why anybody even bothers shooting that, I don't know. But so
it's got its following. It's got
300 Win Mag, 270.
Yeah.
I'm waving a hand, Squib. I'm waving a hand.
Just go there the Monday after.
When
they have a side-in weekend for hunters, then go Monday morning. Or go that night and just make a little.
The downside is you go down to the range, right, and it's all the FUDs out there sighting in, so you got to wait. You got to wait your turn. Right. But some of these guys will go out there, they'll put a piece of newspaper I didn't even know you could still get newspaper. They'll put a piece of newspaper out there, they'll fire 3 shots and be like, all right, I'm done, and leave.
Good for
right?
the year.
And then you have the other guys out there. But then when you go to sight in your rifle and the guy next to you's got that 300 Win Mag, and every time they shoot, the concussion, like I almost started a fight over
For some reason, they feel the need to blow 50 to 75 rounds. And then there's that black powder guy on the other side of you. That's even more enjoyable. You know,
yeah, well, that's just it. And if I want to clear out, all I got to do is pull out the walker, and suddenly, like, everybody leaves. And it's like, what?
Yeah, what's fun is when you got a guy with an AR-10 mag dumping in an indoor range.
He's got an AR-10 pistol. I don't know how the fireball doesn't ignite the spent powder in front of the firing line, you know? Yeah, those are always exciting. You can get used to it, but I've had a couple times where I've left the range with a headache just because I've had, the Remington mag guy on one side and the other guy on the other side is just back and forth, so. Yeah, so from a reloading perspective, if you just want to reload because you enjoy doing it and you just want to slowly build up a stock of hand loads, for your 10 millimeter, or maybe you want to load a slightly lighter 10 millimeter for just practice at the range or something, you can go that route. So I mean, we're never gonna discourage anybody from reloading at all. We don't do it to save money. We do it because we want to make our own ammo. Because in times where ammo disappears off the shelves, we can make our own and not have to worry about not having it. That's what I did during the pandemic. I just loaded 9 millimeter hollow points on the weekends. So I mean. Yeah, just because I could and I had the supplies for it, not because I was saving a quarter a round or anything like that, which I was. So, Defense Dad says that Squib has another channel called the Brass Bandit. Make sure you like and subscribe.
I
gotta check that out.
Does he really? Do you really?
I'm channel 6, huh? All right, yeah, I'll just start up another one. Man, it's hard enough coming up with things and filming and editing, and then
Bandit. Do you
I'm there. I'm going, all right,
load
stuff in the studio. All right, switch account, load stuff in this studio, switch account. And I don't even make good videos. Dang it.
The Brass Bandit? Dude, were you inspired by the Wet Bandits from Home Alone or what? Is that?
Yeah.
The Brass Bandits. Dude, that's awesome, man. That'd make it nice. You got you got the handkerchief over your nose. You go run out there quick and grab the brass and run off, Hey, look. Grab the brass and run. Tony York says, my range asked me to inform other people on the indoor line when I'm doing a 44 mag. Sorry, you might want to move down for this a couple spots.
Yeah, true story. With last time we were at the indoor range, or maybe not the last time before that, I had my Henry 22, and the guy next to me was shooting a 44 Desert Eagle.
Oh, yeah.
I had to keep checking them. I kept having to check to make sure my round went off because I couldn't hear it, and that thing has no recoil.
It does that. 44 Desert Eagle has no recoil. Oh, you're talking about your gun has no recoil.
Yeah, my 22 Henry has no recoil, so I couldn't. If you don't hear the round go off, you don't know it went off. It just doesn't. It doesn't move.
That's true. Yeah. With
the Eagle recoil is
very minimal. It's like every time I pulled the trigger on that, the guy with the 44 was pulling the trigger at the same time. I don't know.
You guys were feeling the same thing. His was just louder.
Yeah, I literally was physically checking. Did that round go off?
I had the custom barrel that I had built by Thompson Center for the Encore, 26-inch with a brake, full bull barrel, 450 Marlin. I had that thing down to the range, down to a range that I used to go to when I was down there in Georgia. And there was 3 or 4 guys shooting at a position about 5 or 6 positions down. And I touched that thing off a couple of times. I had to take a break. That thing was getting my attention, if you know what I mean. And it got their attention, too.
Heck yeah, man.
They had to come over there. What are you firing over here? I says a 458. And they says, let me see a round of that. And I handed it to them. Jesus, ain't nothing on this side of this continent. That thing ain't going to stop.
It's like the size of a chapstick, It's
like, 300 grain hollow point at 25, 26, 2,700 feet per second, depending on the load.
Yeah, that would do it. That would definitely get it done.
That 450 Marlin was one of the guns that I had mounted a scope on, and it flexed that mount on that scope down into the barrel and smashed the lenses in that scope.
Dude, man, you gotta light that bad boy up a little bit
here. So I had to send that scope back. They repaired it. They sent it back to me. No problem. But instead of having 2 rings on that thing, I went to 4. That cured that problem. But boy, I'll tell you, that thing will snap you. And she's got the horsepower to do it.
Oh, yeah. And you load your own for that also?
Yeah.
You do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I got the only one YouTube video that I had the chance to go live on after, this was before YouTube made the decision that they weren't going to allow you to go live mobile with a cell phone. They won't let you do it now. But there's a YouTube video on there, and it's processing 450 Marlin. And it's about an hour and a half, I think it is. I had a good time on that. Had a good time with that video. Had a lot of nice folks stop in and check it out. So, yeah. But it's there. She's a thumper. The first time I ever fired one of them was in the lever action Marlin. And boy, I'll tell you, she's got some horsepower.
I bet. Mountain View out there says, what are people running in their 10 millimeters? I'm just running FMJs. I don't have it set up as a home defense gun at all. I mean, I could have got some hollow points for it. I may test mine with some hollow points to see if there's any function test issues with it. Mountain View says, all I can find is S&B hollow points, but Midway has free shipping this weekend. I know it's not everybody's favorite brand, but I think Ammo Inc. makes some fairly well-priced hollow point 10 millimeters that you can get. Otherwise, SIG probably put something out there. I mean, our Shields has a wall of ammo. So, I mean, I can find something in 10 and hollow points if I want to. Maybe some Underwood or something also. But, I mean, I haven't tested mine with some hollow points. Mainly, honestly, it's going to be an expensive video. It'd be like $40 to make the video, and I'm just going to complain. I'll never make the money back on it. So, I mean, if I'm going to take it out and shoot it just to see if it's reliable for the sake of that, because I know I want to carry it with that ammo or travel with that ammo, then I would make that video, but I'm probably not going to. I just tested mine with just a box of Blazer 10 millimeter because it was fairly inexpensive, and just to make sure it's going to function. Well, I took the Blazer, I took the SIG. Yeah.
Are you going to hand load for that?
No, I'm not going to shoot enough to even invest in the dies and everything. I'll just buy it. I'll just buy it and get squid the brass. No, it's fine. I'm not going to mess with it. So you're welcome. If I get a G20, if I get a Glock 20 or a Glock 40 in 10 millimeter, then I would consider doing the hand loading and stuff on it. But no, because I'm just so invested in 9 right now that I'm fine with it. And that's the other thing too, is that, when the 10 millimeter came out, you had some fairly anemic 9, and we might have had black talons back in the late 80s or whatever those were called, that ammo, some of the earlier hollow points and stuff. But now ammo is advanced so much that you can get a stout plus P hollow point that's going to do the job in 9 millimeter, or you can just get a 40. Like I would take a 40 cal Spear Gold Dot any day. I mean, that's a good bullet. That's a good effective round. I mean, I'd be fine with that. So so I can see why some people won't invest in 10 millimeter because there's so many other viable options now.
But along those lines, I stepped away a few times, so maybe I missed a part of the conversation. Because you can shoot 40 and 10 millimeter guns, not all, but some, was that discussed as far as that being your training practice round, your alternative if you have like arthritis or weak hand strength? Like, for example, if you got a 44 Magnum, but you use 44 special light loads, like Dirty Harry was saying, right? That mitigates recoil, but you still got a decent round. So if you were using a 10 millimeter and your self-defense ammo was 40 hollow point, maybe because it's less expensive or less recoil, you wanted more control. Or when you went to the range, you'd run a couple mags of 10 millimeter through there, but most of the time you're running 40 to save money or wear and tear on your wrist if you don't handle recoil too well. Was that talked about as far as a factor in deciding to get into this?
I don't know. What can you do a barrel swap? Can you get a 40 Smith barrel and swap it out for the 10 millimeter barrel and safely run 40 as much as you want in the 10 millimeter platform?
The only pistol I've seen with that capability is Cosent. Cosent, when they first came out with the 10 millimeter, also packaged a 40 Smith & Wesson barrel in with their 10 millimeters. I don't know if they still do or not.
You can't just do like in a Glock. I can just swap barrels. I mean,
In the Glock, you can just run either.
You can, no issues with barrel with like cartridge support or
I
anything
did
like
because
that.
I did it at Thunder on the Prairie. So,
yeah.
You know,
well, we did run 40 through my high point.
Yes,
and it had no trouble at all. I didn't want to because I didn't realize. I thought it was
we told you afterward. We did the whole ask forgiveness thing. We ran 40 to it.
What?
Oh, by the way,
not that. But I just thought I didn't know if the cartridge was supported properly for change. I just didn't want anybody to get hurt. I didn't want it to malfunction.
Dude, there's so much metal on that thing. If it blew up, you wouldn't even know it. You'd be like, "What was that?"
Would it tell you in the manual if you shouldn't? So I mean, the only what could be any issues at all you could run into running 40?
Yeah, I suppose if it's not actually written in the user's manual, the owner's manual, then
void the warranty if something happened, I guess. But I mean, are there any potential hazards from that, or is it totally
safe?
I mean, the bullet's the same diameter.
The Glock 20's frame is larger than the Glock 22's frame, so their barrel, locking lugs and everything may not be exactly in the same places.
But really, okay, if you're running 40 in something that's set up for a 10 millimeter, the worst thing you're going to get is a squib down the barrel.
Yeah.
Now, in that case, you could fire another one, especially if you're doing a mag dump, and then blow up the barrel. Yeah. But if you're doing slow fire and you go nothing, it went pop, or it went bang, but I didn't hit the target, or I don't know. I mean, there's that risk. But other than that, I don't really see you doing any other damage. If anything, I see a failure to feed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd have a fail. Yeah, but depending on where the round, how the round sits and where it times off the barrel and everything, it might even push in too far into the chamber, and the firing pin may not even make contact.
Yeah, so do that at your own risk. I'm just going to say that right now. We don't want somebody to say, well, Caliber Corner said it'd be fine, and I blew my gun up and my hand's gone. It's like, no, we never said do it. We're just saying that if you are going to do it, use somebody else's gun and don't tell them until after you do it. And then
well, here's the thing. Here's the thing that I have about that use of that 40 Smith & Wesson in the 10 millimeter barrel. That's a longer case.
Yeah.
The 40 Smith & Wesson headspace is off the length of that case, and so does the 10. The 10 is a rimless.
Yep.
So is a 40.
Yep.
So you're taking a heck of a chance on getting a weak primer strike on that primer with that round in the chamber, and some crazy stuff happening. So if you're playing with two cartridges that have a different headspace, and they headspace on the length of that case, myself, I would not try it. I mean, somebody else can try it, and granted, like you stated a minute ago, it does work in some guns. I would not try it.
I'm just thinking for cycling issues, wouldn't you rather have the spring, the recoil spring from the 40 if you're going to run 40 through the gun? I thought maybe the 10 millimeter spring might be too stout and you'd have cycling issues. That's all I was thinking of. I didn't know.
Yeah.
So that would be the one issue. But I mean, you do you. I wouldn't on me. I would never do that like in G20. The high point just doesn't care. It's like, just give me something to throw down the barrel.
The springs may not even be, the spring strength may not even be different because the Cosa, like I said, it only came with two different barrels. It used the same spring.
Yeah. I guess if you care that much, you could get the slide in a barrel and just swap the two out. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
Didn't Night Strike? I think he's got a SIG that he does 40. He's got a what does he have? He's got something where he runs. He's got
a 40 and 357 SIG, which those are interchangeable.
Yeah, that's
okay. That doesn't make any difference. So no headspace issues and stuff like that at all. You're going to run into. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you didn't.
I got a Tokarev 7.62 by 25. Now they made an interchangeable barrel where you could fire 9 millimeter in that 7.62 by 25. I never had the chance to get my hands on one, but that 7.62 by 25.
Oh yeah.
If you have the appropriate barrel.
That's a screamer, man. I love that round. I had a CZ52, so I had some experience with that. I've tested it before on the channel. And first time I shot Tokarev was Squib. Gave me one when he came out and visited the first time, and we shot out at the range. It was so smooth. But that's a good round. And then we talked about this before. S&B does make a 7.62 by 25 personal defense round. I would imagine their market is probably the Czech home market, to be honest with you, because you can carry in the Czech Republic. So there might be enough guns chambered in that they just want people shooting the hollow points safely. So they do make, I don't even, Spear might make a gold dot in 7.62 by 25 also. but it is there. S&B does make it. It's hard to find and expensive, but you can get a box if you really want it. I wouldn't, but if you're just going to carry it as a self-defense round, oh, okay, that's fine.
Oh,
you know,
geez, look at Defense Dad's comment.
Oh, wow. The biggest risk in shooting 40 and a 10 millimeters, you may instantly grow a man bun and crave a caramel macchiato. So there you go. And maybe start wearing some skinny jeans on top of it, and then find yourself browsing the CZs the next time you go to your local Shields. Oh man. All right, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. We've been going for an hour and 45 minutes, and it was just a fun discussion. We try to hyper focus on the topic, get it all out there, talk about it, force you to go buy something in that caliber you've never considered before. And again, the fact they offer a price point for everybody now in 10 millimeter makes it for you to not have an excuse to not have one, Squib. So, just like me, I got to get a 357 mag at some point. Now that Taurus is out there and Rossi's got a revolver, I need to get one in 357. So, oh man, okay. Well, we're gonna wrap this one up. Let's go ahead and get our final comments out there. Remember, no Caliber Corner next Saturday. I'm going to be predisposed, and then the following week after that, we're going to have a part 2 hiking discussion about the actual gear itself, going beyond the clothing and boots discussion that we had last year. So get into the gear next week, maybe some of the things to consider for your first hike, what can you do to physically prep for it and so on. So it'll be a good discussion. I had a great time talking hiking, and that's because I've done a lot of it this summer and had an opportunity for like the first time in my life to really get out in the outdoors in like a non-hunting setting and just go and appreciate nature, So anyway, single shot, anything you want to say before we go?
Well, no, not a whole lot. It was a good discussion there. I had a good show there today. Squib, I catch you there for a minute there after the show. But folks, if you have a chance to go over and check out those new videos, 2 of them on YouTube, 1 on Rumble, I'd appreciate stopping by and giving a like and trying to build my channel up there. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it at all for that. I like to do the enjoyment of doing it. And I've got another camera and tripod, and I'm going to be trying here as soon as I figure out how to put everything together on it. So hopefully we can get away from using the cell phone here for the videos and stuff. So
cool.
Take care. God bless. America moves by truck.
Absolutely. Squibby, any final thoughts? Any comments?
Good discussion, and I had a chance to drink my coffee and make some notes during the
well, there you go.
So earlier, I hear this lawnmower outside, and I look over, and the a-hole neighbors are mowing their lawn. And I'm going, well, I can't go downstairs and shoot the ending to the video. So I'm like, all right, we're about to wrap up. All right, cool. Well, I'll just talk afterward and then go downstairs. Now the other a-hole neighbors are firing up their lawnmowers. Like, I just can't win.
Like 45 minutes.
Yes. So it's like, welcome back to the stovetop, but all you hear is,
and it increases and decreases as they get closer to your window, and like, how long does it take these people to mow their freaking lawn? No, I hear you, man. I know there's always
like one neighbor says, hey, we're going to mow our lawn at 9:30 in the morning. And the other neighbor wakes up because they hear the lawnmower and they're like,
it's peer pressure. I used to do it all the time. I'm like, you know what? It is a good time to mow. I do it even when I wasn't planning on doing it. There's some weird thing that us men shared, some sort of nonverbal communication that I've got to mow because he's mowing.
That's another reason why I'd rather live in Arizona. No more lawn to mow.
Exactly. Just scorpions and rattlesnakes and tarantulas. So
I'm good with those.
And all your stuff melting outside too.
True. Your polymer gun's melting on your dash. Yeah.
yeah. That would be a good test. Let's see if this Glock will melt.
Real quick, Tara Smith's Kitchen says, got a new GoPro Hero 11 Creator pack. The Mini kept overheating. Might take it hiking. Would be a great use when I'm not riding. Yeah, that'd be cool. When I do my hike, I'm going to take my camera with and just film some of it and talk about it. And I'm going to be breaking in my Nikes on real actual trail and not crushed limestone like I did for last week's video, where I did a video for the Pegasus Trail 4s, which I freaking love. Absolutely awesome shoes. But there we go. Squib, anything else you want to say at all?
No, other than it's like so many other things. I need to get off my butt and do it. I've got projects all over the place, good intentions. I've got stuff that sits around for years. I've got all kinds of things, incomplete. Every now and then I get around to completing something. It's like, cool. But then I add 2 or 3 other things to the list. So 10 millimeter is on the list. If I live long enough, it'll happen. So we'll see.
There you go. Yeah. And one thing real quick, I won't have a video come out this week. I apologize. I haven't had a chance to go to the range. I'm hoping I can go tomorrow, but doing stuff on the third channel, work, just a lot of stuff going on. I haven't got out, but I got a catalog of 1,500 videos. Go browse something, go check the playlist. There's always some entertainment over there for you. So I do want to take one of my Bear Creek uppers out and test it with the 62 grain meat ammunition, which I haven't had a chance to do yet. So that's going to happen at some point. So it's going to be a little thin on content this week, but hopefully we'll have another one out there for you next week. And the next weekend, I'll do a little hiking video and kind of put it together and talk about it and go from there. Rich, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, Squib's got the neighbors mowing. I got an idiot outside who thinks the whole neighborhood wants to hear his car stereo.
Well, there you go. Well, it could be worse. Hey, it could be a freaking chainsaw, where they're taking a tree down out front of somebody's house, Oh, man. Fun stuff. All right. Anything else you want to say, Rich, before we go? Any final words of wisdom or final plugs? Yeah.
Let's see. Briefly brought up the HKUSP earlier. Go over to my channel, Unloaded Media, and there's a video I did about a month or so ago as part of the promotion for Crazy Scotsman, when he was taking donations for Lakeview Outdoors. On the USP, I gave you a little bit of the history and the takedown and how the recoil system in there works and everything. So.
I think we need a cleaning video, Rich. Why don't you do that?
Well, you can pretty much figure out how to do that too.
Well, I say that too, but you'd be amazed how many people watch them. So just saying, bring in some new viewers. So, all right, sounds good. Ted, I'll come over and just make a cleaning video for you. That's fine. By the way, I've done 99, and I don't know what I'm gonna do for video 100. I haven't figured it out yet. So
yeah, well, I took inspiration from you, and it was basically a tabletop review kind of thing. So
yeah, dude, no, those are cool. That's good. It's good because you know what, you don't see them all over the place, and the only time I ever see H&K anything show up, honestly, at my local Shields is in the used case. I mean, I hardly ever see. Once in a while, they'll get something new in, but it's pretty rare. I don't even know if they even have a section for H&K. No, they do. I take that back. It's a lot of VPs and stuff, but USPs are pretty rare in general. So,
yeah, cool. Especially the 40, because now they're mostly concentrating on the 9, and we've talked about it before. They're one of those ones they make so many, and then they stop until the next year, and then they make another small batch the next year, and then they stop again.
Yeah.
It's not in constant production like with the VP9 and the P30s.
Yeah, it's true. That's a good point. All right. Okay, and Firefighter, any final words you want to say? Anything else you want to say? Anything about 10 millimeter or yourself or whatever? Anything you want to get out there real quick?
Other than I have 5 pages of notes now on 10 millimeter, and thanks to you, Travis, the TH10 is now on my list of things.
Oh, try my mind tricks.
A metric ton of overtime towards.
Yep. I actually did a little video on, if you want to go check out the channel, talking about all the features it's going to offer and the weight and the capacity and what we know about it and so on. So it'd be cool if they would do a TH10 compact like they did for the 9 and the 40. That would be freaking sweet, just because it's just neat. I don't know why. I just think a smaller form factor with a very powerful round. I know you're going to lose some velocity, but the TH9 and 40 compacts are kind of cool. And they're kind of rare. They need to do a TH10 compact. What I wish is on the THs, and again, I'm going to predict it, Chacho 2020, whatever, for this year. It'd be nice if they do Toro versions of those. And I wish they would just do Toro across the board, just be done with it instead of nickel and diamond everybody, or making you buy a $150 conversion kit. Just do the optics cut across the board. The fact that PSA is able to do it for $300 tells me that Toro should be doing the same thing on all their guns across the board. Just do it. I mean, maybe it's more of a cost of manufacture, but it drives me nuts because I'd love to get a TH10 with an optics cut and not have to maybe pay more than just the standard price model right now, or maybe pay $50 more and that's it. So yeah. Cool, man. All right. So that is it. Let's give a final shout out here on the YouTube side. Who is watching today? We got Squibload pulling double duty, Fluffy 10 millimeter Jeep guy, New York Outcast, Ozzy Orsborn, Tony York, GSB9, Tara Smith's Kitchen, Patriot in the Dark, We Sustain Germany's out there, Mountain View's in the house. Again, Mountain View, thank you for suggesting the topic for today. Again, New York Outcast, Scott79, Defense Dad out there. Tommy Gunn joining us from the land up north, wheeled and well armed, Rich White, pulling double duty. Tactical FUD, Armed Rebellion 47, Chris from the 740 in the house. Guys, get over there and check out his channel. Let's get Chris up to 5,000 subs. He's only about 400 short right now, maybe 360 short right now, which is good. Let's see who else is out there watching. Nunzio out there was saying hello, good morning. Let's see anybody else out there. Armed Rebellion, thank you again for the super chat. I do appreciate that. We'll go buy some 10 millimeter with it. I'll make you proud. And that's about it. And then the chat stops because it's already loaded up as far as it can be. So we'll see everybody in 2 weeks. We'll come back and talk hiking again. And then after that, I have no idea what the topic's going to be. So if you guys got some ideas, let me know. Maybe we can have an episode on like obscure calibers you don't hear about anymore, or calibers that could have been. That might be a fun discussion about calibers that just never made it but should have. That'd be kind of a fun one. So anyway, guys, this is Travis P11. This has been season 6, episode number 294 of Caliber Corner. Let's talk 10 millimeter auto. The history and future of this awesome caliber. I hate to say it for some of you that don't like 10 milli. It's not going anywhere. It's going to keep coming out. And now that companies like, High Point, Smith & Wesson, and FN, and these companies are making new models or existing versions of their current lines in 10 millimeter, it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So anyway, guys, this is Travis P11. I want you guys to have fun. I want you to be safe. And as you know, we'll talk to you soon. Take care and have a good one, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, Alicia.
Bye, Alicia.